Today, guys, we're going to be going over a few things I would like to see changed in Grand RP just to make things a little bit better for the entire community. So I hope you go on to enjoy the video, and if you haven't already joined the server before and want to, be sure to click the link down below in the description, click on Start Playing, select which server you want to play on, register an account, and download the launcher, and you should be good to go from there. The very first thing is the premium fuel system. So I'm in my car right now. I'm going to go and get some premium fuel, and I pay $8,300. At the moment, I had regular gas in my car, so it makes sense for me to pay the full amount to put premium fuel in. But now I'm going to take my car and I'm going to drive to the gas station behind LSPD, and then I'm going to fill up more premium fuel. I only used about 4 liters of it, but I'm still going to get charged another $8,300, even though I already have premium fuel in my car. It's something that I'm not a huge fan of just because we paid $8,300, we only used a couple liters, and now we're going to pay another $8,300. It would make a lot more sense if, you only had to fill up 4 liters worth. And I believe premium fuel goes for around $100 per liter, so that means I would pay $400 in order to fill it up again. Of course, that is if I have premium fuel already in my vehicle. And another thing is I use premium fuel all the time in many other jobs where I'm driving a cement mixer or even a bus, because it actually makes a little difference and you do drive faster even if the vehicle is rented. So I do it all the time and it'll cost me like $50,000. And then I go and fill it up again. Even though the tank is not completely empty and still has premium fuel in it, I got to pay that full amount once again. So it's just something I would like to see changed, so we would be able to select how much premium fuel we want in our vehicle. And if you have no premium fuel in it whatsoever and it's just regular gasoline, then of course you would pay the full amount. But if you only used half the tank or a quarter of the tank, and that was all premium fuel, you should only have to pay to fill up what you need. It just makes sense. Like, you wouldn't do that in real life, would you? You would just throw out everything that's in your tank, even though you only used a couple liters, and then pay full price once again. I think that should just be changed to pretty much exactly what I just said. Before we get into the next thing though, why don't you guys take a look at this video's sponsor. If you need any assistance in any of your favorite games like GTA 5, Fortnite, Forza, Call of Duty, and many, many more, be sure to check out Damnmodz down below in the description, and at checkout use code Frolickz to get up to $100 off your order. Next is the reason why I never go to this specific farm to do any sort of farming for Battle Pass tasks, or even just to get some seeds. Now, for some reason when you go to this farm, you fill up your watering can and you start farming. You'll go through each of the arrows, but you won't go through 10. You'll go through 7, or 8, or 9, and then you'll get sent to another row. And then you'll do 7, 8, or 9 once again, and then get sent to another row. That's right, 3 rows just to empty your watering can. Now, a lot of you may be like, that's not that big of a deal, but compare that to the other farm, where you do 10 arrows, and then go to another spot and do another 10 arrows, and that instantly will empty your entire watering can. And it does actually reduce the time a little bit, because I timed it. The video clips you see are the ones that I timed, and at the current farm I'm at, it took a total of about 138 seconds to complete everything. At the other farm, it only took me 128 seconds, and that's from when I first walked into the arrow and the final arrow that was completed, I guess. It was roughly 8% faster, but the thing is, as you progress, it'll continue to get worse, because imagine you only had to go down 2 rows, and every time you would do 10 here and 10 there. But if you have to do 3 rows, sometimes you'll have to run way further to the opposite side of the farm just to water 3 or 4 beds. And if you choose to not go and water those beds and go fill up your watering can, then you're going to miss out on watering those crops, and it'll take you even longer. And like I said, as you progress through this, it's just going to take more and more time. The first time it was 8% faster, the next time it might be 10% faster, then 12%, just because you're just constantly wasting time doing these things that you shouldn't have to do compared to the other farm where it's just organized in a better fashion. So if you want to save a little bit of time, go to the other farm. I would not recommend going to this one. And honestly, I don't know why this ever happened. It was perfect at one point, and then out of the blue, it just changed. So hopefully this does get fixed at some point, because there really shouldn't be any difference, but for some reason, there actually is a fairly big difference between these 2 farms, and you will save more time going to the good farm instead of this farm. The next thing is allow people to collect more items with their resource scanners. Now, I don't mean every single item, like instead of 2 or 3 metal, it's 30 or 50. That's not what I mean. What I mean is you can only collect 3 or 4 per hour, I think, or per day, something like that. But I remember I was doing it one time, and I was just doing some Battle Pass tasks, and I used my battery, charged up my scanner, went to go and find the product I wanted to get, and it actually turned out there was a couple sitting there, which was great, but the issue was I picked up the wrong one that was sitting there, and not the one that I needed to complete my task. And then when I tried to pick the other one up, it said you've already collected too many items. so try again later. And I was honestly kind of annoyed because batteries aren't cheap, plus I had to drive fairly far, and during this video clip, please do not ask me why I decided to take a smart car 6 miles across the map. I don't know what I was thinking here. I could have just grabbed my helicopter, but either way, I think you should be able to pick up more items. Not only is there really no purpose to not letting us pick up so many items, maybe for statues at the very most, but everything else is just random crap around the city, and there's tons of it. The main thing, though, is if you're not keeping track and you use your battery, which could cost like $33,000, $35,000, you go all the way to that location and you just can't pick up the item. And then if you decide to wait a little bit, the item will despawn and go to another spot because every hour they change. If they want to keep the limit, I'd highly recommend just tossing up on screen whenever you pick up an item, saying you could pick up 3 more, or 2 more, or 1 more, and now you can't pick up any more and you have to wait until it resets again. It's not the biggest issue in the entire world, obviously, but I'm sure it's happened to you guys a couple of times, and it wasn't the best feeling in the world because you just drove all the way across the map and then you couldn't pick up the item that you wanted to actually collect. And yeah, it's just kind of annoying. So either just let us know how many items we picked up somewhere on screen whenever we do pick up an item, or just remove the limit altogether. Because realistically, in 1 hour, you might be able to pick up 6 or 7 items, depending on how far apart they all are. But for me, the most annoying part of all of that was when multiple items spawn in the same spot, and you try to pick up the item that you need, and you end up picking up a basket of strawberries instead. And, you know, it was just a little bit annoying, and then I wasn't able to pick up the item I needed, and pretty much wasted that battery. So it would be nice to see that changed in the future. But either way, that's pretty much going to wrap the video up for today. Thank you so much for watching. Let me know down below in the comments section, what do you guys think of this? And with that said, I will catch you guys in the next one.